It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Tuesday, June the 7th, 2022. Search for Azamara Quest Overboard Woman is the lead story today. This edition is pre-recorded. Today, folks, is National Chocolate Ice Cream Day, so you know what to do about that. Let's go find some chocolate ice cream and enjoy it. Be a great day here on a hot summer day. At least it's kind of hot here today. Not real hot, but not bad. Cruise ships today sailing from North American ports. In New York at Manhattan, we got the Seven Seas Navigator down in West Palm Beach. Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Down in Miami, the Disney Dream. Up in Seattle, the Carnival Splendor sails. In Anchorage, we've got Radiance of the Sea, Koningsdam, and Majestic Princess all land packages underway today. Fairbanks, Radiance of the Sea, and Nieuw Amsterdam, and Majestic Princess land packages. Also, we've got from Vancouver, Grand Princess land package and Seabreeze land packages, all today. Headlines for today's show, as I mentioned, unsuccessful search for Azamara Quest Overboard Woman. Holland America cancels cruise tours. Itinerary change due to Tropical Storm Alex. Masks required again on Island Princess. Itinerary changes for Norwegian Breakaway. And 10,000 Jamaicans to get jobs. That's much more here this morning at 11 o'clock. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast from my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the major big hitters: TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, did I say that? Pandora, Stitcher. All you have to do is search for Travel and Cruise Industry News. The old fat travel guy will pop up. As we said, today's show is pre-recorded as I'm undergoing a medical procedure this morning. I will be back tomorrow morning live at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I'll be back with today's news after a break from one of our network sponsors. All right, on with the news for today. Azamara Quest had just sailed from her home port in Barcelona when a middle-aged woman was seen going overboard about 75 miles off the Spanish island coast of Majorca. After the initial report to the Spanish Coast Guard, two helicopters, and a Coast Guard vessel joined in the search. The woman, who has yet to be identified, was not found in the search, and Azamara Quest has since resumed her cruise, docked in Malaga, Spain yesterday. Why the woman went overboard and whether it was intentional or accidental remains unclear. At the time, the weather conditions in the Mediterranean were relatively calm, with no significant weather systems nearby. Unfortunately, it's not uncommon for guests to go overboard from a cruise ship. The incident on board Azamara Quest follows a string of incidents in the last few months. Unfortunately, it's given detractors of the cruise industry another opening to call for the installation and use of the required man overboard system. That system, required by the Cruise Vessel Security and Safety Act of 2010, utilizes sophisticated motion detection and infrared radar technology to immediately signal the bridge when a person goes over the rails, and then tracks the person in the water even at night. The Azamara Quest does not have that system. I'm not saying that I always agree with detractors from the industry. I usually don't. However, I don't know enough about this system as far as its costs and the cost benefit, but it certainly does seem like that system could be helpful in these cases, if in fact you want to save these people that are going overboard. All right. The next story, Holland America, celebrating 75 years of sailing in Alaska, unfortunately has informed some travel partners and impacted guests that some of the popular cruise tours must be canceled. These are not cruises, but cruise tours, the land packages. Some of the affected sailings are just a few days away, but the cruise line is offering generous compensation for the inconvenience and disappointment. The impacted cruise tour are the line's popular Yucatan and Denali options, including a sailing as soon as June 14th aboard the Nieuw Amsterdam. Other ships and sailing dates affected were not immediately disclosed, but the initial email indicated multiple cancellations. The reason given for these abrupt last-minute cancellations are staffing shortages, which has become commonplace among all major cruise lines in recent weeks. In addition to a full refund, including cruise fares, port taxes, fees, prepaid gratuities, beverage packages, spa reservations, shore excursions, etc., the cruise line is also providing all guests with an additional 100% future cruise credit equal to the cruise fare paid. Now, I'm wondering if that is just on the cruise tour, the land-based tour, or if that in fact includes, because if you buy one of those packages, land tours, it includes the cruise and the land tour. It's not specified as different fares. That's an interest. If they're giving 100% on all that, that's amazing. The future cruise credit is applicable to new booking on a cruise or cruise tour on any vessel and for any itinerary that is booked or set sail by December 31st of 2023. Furthermore, the future cruise credit may be used for flights booked through Holland America, pre and post cruise tour packages, or cancellation protection plan packages on future sailings, providing more security for travelers as well as options to use for credits, plus $200 onboard credit on any cruise that's booked later on this year. Still doesn't delineate, at least to my mind, if they're just talking about the fare for the canceled portion or the whole fare. Because they're not canceling the cruise portion, they're just canceling the land portion. That one would have to be, I mean, I would surely to goodness that they're talking about the money back on the land portion. That one needs to be clarified. But anyway, it's a pretty generous package overall. If you were planning on going on the Denali Yucatan and Denali options. All right, the Norwegian Pearl is supposed to be in Bermuda right now. With wind gusts exceeding 60 miles an hour and swells topping out at 20 feet in height, the Pearl's captain made a swift decision over the weekend to get out of Bermuda early this week. Scheduled to visit Bermuda Sunday, Monday, and today, the Pearl has already set sail to escape the worst of the storm as it was moving in Sunday. Now, this is Bermuda, folks. So it's well after we had the interactions in Florida. With the possibility of mooring lines breaking, the worst case scenario, the ship going adrift in the port, ships are nearly always requested to leave the port area in case of an approaching storm or hurricane. While they're built for comfort, cruise ships are also made to weather the storm at sea. So the Pearl sailed Sunday, spent yesterday at sea. Guests will likely still have a chance to enjoy a day in Bermuda as the vessel is scheduled back to Bermuda today, depending on the weather. And when I taped this morning early, folks, I could not tell you if the Pearl was actually back in Bermuda. But hopefully it will be in Bermuda today. All right. Princess. Due to the growing number of COVID cases among passengers and crew on board Island Princess Cruises has implemented a mandatory face mask policy out of an abundance of caution. The cruise line did confirm to Chillie's Cruises that those who are positive are asymptomatic or only mildly symptomatic. They are all isolated, included any close contacts on board. During the current May 26th voyage, everyone on board must wear a face mask indoors at all times except during eating or drinking or in the staterooms. Guests must also wear a mask outdoors when in large gatherings or when the physical distancing can't be maintained. It's important to know that the updated mask policy is only for the Island Princess, not all the other Princess cruises, not even other Princess cruises in Alaska right now. The policy is much more relaxed when it comes to the other Princess cruise ships. Masks are only recommended throughout each vessel, but could still be required for certain venues and situations. The hope is to reduce the spread on board, especially as the Island Princess is currently sailing a long 34-night voyage, which is also split into shorter 18-night itineraries. Now, folks, I know there's still some of you out there are going to say, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have my freedoms taken away and all that crap. Keep in mind, things can change quickly for any of us cruising. If the cruise line tells you you got to wear the mask, don't complain. If you're going to fuss about it and you're going to fight and you're going to throw up the freedom card, don't cruise. Go down the street and stay at a flea bag motel for a week and call that a vacation. Yeah, I wouldn't like it either to have to start wearing a mask full time again. But if I'm on a cruise and they tell me I need to do that for not only my health and safety, but for the health and safety of other people on board, then I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to do anything they suggest we do. If you're not willing to do that, people, stay the hell away from the cruise industry until this thing is done and gone forever, which may never happen. Wasn't planning on ranting today. Norwegian Cruise Line has had to adjust 2 sailings from the Miami-based Norwegian Breakaway. Travel agents were informed of the changes actually this morning. Norwegian Cruise Line did not detail the reason for the itinerary change and only said it's always our intention to maintain original itineraries. However, at times, unforeseen circumstances require us to make modifications. In both cases, ports of call of Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic and Tortola in the British Virgin Islands were removed from the itinerary. So here's the revised itinerary for both of these cruises. It'll sail from Miami on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. as scheduled. Monday, there'll be a Great Stirrup Cay all day. Tuesday, at sea. Wednesday, San Juan, 4 to 11 p.m. Thursday, St. Thomas from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Then Friday and Saturday at sea and back into Miami Sunday morning. So those 2 cruises have been changed significantly. And folks, yeah, if I was on the Breakaway, I would be upset because number one, Tortola is probably my favorite port in the Caribbean. So I would hate that happening. Puerto Plata, I've not been to since that's just recently opened. I've been close by to Puerto Plata, but I haven't actually been there yet. So yeah, I'd be upset too. But again, folks, the cruise industry today, you've got to be willing to accept changes at the last minute. And if you can't take those changes, then please to go someplace else on a vacation. All right. Starting actually this week, 10,000 Jamaicans are going to be hired to work on cruise ships. So says Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett. Bartlett, who spoke to reporters after a ceremony at the Montego Bay Convention Center, said, "Cruise lines clearly need more workers with all the reported staff shortages and can recruit anywhere in the world. To express a commitment to hiring 10,000 of our countrymen and countrywomen is a sure sign of the confidence in our workers. We're talking about everything: chefs, bellboys, room attendants, seafarers in general, just about any department," Bartlett added. Hopefully, 10,000 new Jamaicans will help some with the staff shortages that we're going through in this industry, literally across the board. So that wraps up the news for today. Again, my apologies for not having the chat room going, for not having a live show, but you guys know my health situation currently. I'm undergoing the second of the bad tests. And then on the 13th of this month, I will be in consultation with my oncologist. That will be the next program that will be pre-recorded. And I'll see what my options are after the results of these tests are known. So that's going to wrap it up for today, folks. I'll be back live tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for travel and cruise industry news on Wednesday. You guys have a fabulous day. I'll see everybody tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.